The Republicans who sold out for China. Look, I'm a Republican, but I'm not sure I'm going to remain a Republican once Trump is gone. J.D. Vance, yeah, but I tell you, man, we got some bad hombres in the Republican Party. I'm telling you. I don't think I'll ever go back to Democrats because they hate white people. It's just a fact. But man, alive, dude, the Republicans they just love money, man. That's all there is to it. So let's read this from Breitbart. And how's Breitbart? Oh my! This is so red-handed. 23 former U.S. senators and congressmen who lobby for Chinese military or Chinese intelligence-linked companies. And I knew right there, Trent Lott. I knew that, man, 100%. That guy looks familiar. What's his name? I forget. There's Lieberman. He's not a Republican, of course. Bill Cohen, just freaking clown. We'll go down through this, but Trent Lott's just freaking. Anyway, let's read this. Many lawmakers cash in after leaving office by becoming lobbyists for corporations and other special interests. But one would hope they would not become advocates for America's primary economic and political adversary, China, by lobbying for outcomes that run counter to the United States' long-term interest. However, in Schweizer's book right here, Peter Schweizer, and his book is Red-Handed, How American Elites Got Rich Helping China Win. However, Schweizer's book reveals that many congressional leaders, committee chairmen, and rank-and-file members are lobbying for China intelligence and military-linked companies. And Boehner right there. Boehner, you freaking clown. I'll never forget Boehner because he was all against legalizing marijuana. And then the minute he left office, he joined a marijuana legalization and he was on their board. I said, freaking just scumbags, dude. And the thing that ticks me off is my dad knew Boehner. And Boehner and Dick Armey used to smoke like cigarettes like freaking banshees. Because my dad smoked too. So my dad, he wasn't buddy with him or anything, but my dad was very active in D.C., in the healthcare policy and more of the libertarian side. But anyway, he used to go to these things with Dick Armey and John Boehner, and they'd just be smoking away, which made my dad feel, yeah, we can smoke here. Anyway, I just think it's funny. So Boehner was against legalization of marijuana as he's sitting there smoking cigarettes all over the place. And then the minute he leaves office, he's on a board for legalized marijuana, which it turns out it was a mistake. I used to be big for legalization. I've been writing about legalization for years and years and years. Then we got to see firsthand experiment in Portland, Seattle, Portland, Maine, and whatnot. It's a cluster foxtrot. We should not be legalizing, that's for sure. Boehner's advocacy for China began right as he became Speaker of the House. In 2011, remember, Obama was president. Republicans had massive legislative wins in 2010. Congress was in the midst of passing a currency manipulation bill to hold China accountable for keeping its currency artificially low and thus allowing more exports to the United States and less imports from America. All right. China subsequently hired Squire Patton Boggs. And if memory serves, I think Trent Lott went to work for them as well. One of D.C.'s most influential law firms for $35,000 a month to block the bill. Squire Patton Boggs registered as a Ford agent of the Chinese embassy in Washington, D.C. after decades of close ties to the Chinese government. The Chinese currency manipulation bill sailed through the Senate with a 63-35 vote, featuring strong bipartisan support. However, Boehner would not even allow the bill to come to a vote on the House floor, even though half the Republican conference and all the Democrats voted for it or wanted to support it. The Republicans had a big majority there, so that would have been a big majority to pass the bill. And Boehner says it's a pretty dangerous thing to be moving legislation through U.S. Congress, forcing someone to deal with the value of the currency. He'd even argue that the bill would lead to a trade war. Schweizer then said it should be no surprise that Boehner retired from office. He joined Squire Patton Boggs as a strategic advisor, which includes guidance on defense appropriations process, the 2020 elections, American policy in Hong Kong, Taiwan, Xinjiang, and the whole thing is just freaking insane. Squire Patton Boggs has also strong ties to the highest echelons of the Chinese government. Nick Chan, a partner for Squire Patton Boggs in China, is also a member of the ruling National People's Congress. Tim Hutchinson, that's right. Was he governor of Arkansas at one point? I can't remember. Here's Tim Hutchinson right here. Good guy. All right, great guy. Great. A former member of the Senate Armed Services Committee. He lobbies for Alibaba. Alibaba paid his firm, Greenberg Traurig, $200,000. Ed Royce. Oh, yeah, clown from Ed Royce. Yep, right there. Ed Royce. Tencent is another massive Chinese tech firm and the creator of WeChat, the popular Chinese messaging app with over 1.2 billion active users. The Chinese tech firm helps develop technologies with military applications that's closely fused with the People's Liberation Army. Tencent hired former Chairman Royce to lobby the federal government and paid his firm $330,000. Oh, there's Trent Lott. There's John Bro, the Democrat. Jeff Denham, another California clown. Look at that, John Bro, you clown. John Bro went to run big, was it him? I think it was Big Pharma, their advertisings. Was it John Bro? It was a guy from Louisiana. Maybe it was, I can't remember. I think it was John Bro. I forgot. But anyway, who went to run the Big Pharma lobby group too. I can't remember John Bro. But anyway, I think it might have been. Anyway, so here's Trent Lott, you freaking clown. ByteDance operates TikTok, and guess who they hired to be lobbyists? Trent Lott and Senator Trent Lott and John Bro. John Bro once remarked that his vote in the Senate was not for sale, but it's available for rent. Yeah, dude. Here's Norm Coleman. Remember him? Yeah. He lost didn't he lose to Al Franken? He never challenged it, even though it was very suspect how he lost. And there's Connie Mack, using his great grandfather's name to just the whole thing's crazy. I don't know why they got such an old picture of Clint Eastwood there, but look at this guy. Look at this guy. Lee Terry in Nebraska. What a freaking clown, dude. Stearns and Bonker, despite the opposite sides of the political spectrum, both work at the lobbying firm APCO Worldwide. They also work on a contract lobbying for the People's Liberation Army affiliated Costco. Oh, this guy from Georgia, Jack Kingston from Georgia. Oh, right here. Former Rep. Lee Terry also signed up for Hawaii, or whatever the hell it is, in 2021. The FCC declared Hawaii and ZTE Telecom hardware a national security threat, but you freaking, God, dude, I so despise these people. Jack Kingston. He served in the House from 1993 to 2015, and even served as vice chairman of the House Republican Conference. He served as a leading member of the House Appropriations Committee. Despite his accolades of the guardian of small business, he lobbied for ChemChina, the Chinese state-owned chemical company. There is David Vitter, Rick Boucher. He's a Democrat right there. I don't know who Toby Moffett is, but I remember him. He was like one of the Blue Dog Democrats. Vitter and Moffett received $70,000 per month from a Chinese surveillance company largely owned by the government-controlled conglomerate known as Chinese Electronics Group. Here's Barbara Boxer. Hey! Oh, she's not a Republican, of course. She's just a clown. She represented as a Democrat from 1993 to 2017, and she later signed on to advise Hikvision and registered as a foreign agent with the Department of Justice. She claimed later that she merely wanted to help American jobs by providing advice to the Chinese surveillance company. She later stopped lobbying for them after facing public outcry. Perhaps ironically, she voted in favor of the exchange currency oversight reform that Boehner blocked. This guy from Louisiana, Boustany, whatever his name is, served as 12 years in Congress, all right, a member of the House Ways and Means Committee. When leaving office, he tried to become a trade rep for the Donald Trump administration. When he failed to get that job, though, he joined Capitol Counsel, a Washington, D.C. lobbying firm. It registered with the DOJ as a foreign agent to represent the China-United States Exchange Foundation. As part of this contract, Capitol Counsel provided political intelligence gathering and substance advice on Chinese-related matters. Same time, he became a spokesman for an organization called Tariffs Hurt the Heartland, which argued that Trump administration proposed tariffs against China abusive trade practices would actually hurt working-class Americans. Oh my goodness, dude, you just can't make this stuff up. He tried to get a job with Trump, and then this freaking clown from Maine, you suck, Bill Cohen. He was under Clinton. He was the defense secretary. He established a Cohen Group in 2001 after leading the DOD. They touted its deep ties with the Chinese communists, including Cohen's first visit as a congressman in 1978. The Cohen Group also extends its consulting for Chinese state-owned enterprises, which are often used as a tool of the state, the Chinese state. When the federal government deemed Hawaii a security threat because of its close ties to Chinese intelligence apparatus, the company hired the Cohen Group to negotiate. Dude, the whole thing's such a clown show. It's such a clown show. Look, if you're waiting for politicians to free you from the insanity, you can't. You just got to, it's a personal jihad, to quote from our Muslim brothers and sisters. You got to engage in your personal jihad because these guys aren't going to rescue you, dude. It's just not going to happen. At least Trump has been consistent since day one. I was listening to this thing he did in 1983, talk about tariffs and stuff. The dude has been consistent since day one. All these other guys are ass clowns and they should go pound sand. God bless. Love your thoughts.